Thank you for joining Candid Media every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share with friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Jaydev joins us in this session. Welcome, Jaydev.
Good evening to all of you once again. And today we have a very interesting session. In fact, we'll go back on in time and see how different media houses, mainstream media houses, with their the famous hosts, how they handled the reportage of the SSR case back in 2020, and we'll take you as to why they are still why they have stopped reporting on the SSR case. And so, shall we start the this
Yeah,
thing?
please. Yes.
Yeah. So, coming to our feature story for today is why a lot of the mainstream media houses, have stopped, reporting regarding the SSR case, which some of these mainstream media houses like Republic TV and Times Now went very, very aggressively, covering the SSR case and sort of asking very aggressive interviews with people like Siddharth Pitani, Riya
Ankita
Chakravarti,
Lokade. Yeah.
Ankita Lokhande, and Deepesh Sawant, the cook. Then many people with related to the SSR case. So if we go back in time, is that if you remember that Arnab Goswami and Republic TV were the most aggressive media house that was in search of the seeking answers for the SSR case. Now, if you go back in time, you will remember that two Republic TV staff and a taxi driver were arrested on 8 September 2020 for allegedly trespassing on a farmhouse of Uddhav Thackeray in Raigad district. Now, my question is, what was Arnab Goswami at that point of time trying to, cover or find out in that farmhouse? Was there some sort of evidence which would have, linked to the SSR case, right? So a lot of mystery in that particular point. And the issue then snowballed into confrontation between, as you know, Arnab Goswami and Uddhav Thackeray government. And after which, as you know, that Arnab Goswami was arrested from his house when Sachin Vase came with over, I think, 100 policemen, were knocking on his door, and they obviously arrested him. And after the arrest, he was released, and after that, he went very silent on Bollywood and especially the SSR and Disha Salian case. Now, some of the reasons for that is, if you go back in time, is a deputy commissioner of police in early 2021 had filed a criminal defamation complaint against Arnab Goswami for certain claims made during the coverage of the SSR case. Goswami's lawyers claimed that the tweets referred to in the complaint filed by the DCP Abhishek Trimuke were from a fake Twitter account, as the client is not on social media. Trimuke's complaint, filed before session courts here, also named the ARG Outlier Media, which is a Republic TV network, and Goswami's wife, as she is one of the directors. There were some tweets that which misrepresented Trimuke. He had written about it to the Maharashtra government. The state home department gave it sanction. The complaint has been filed under the Indian Penal Code sections 499, 500, and 501. Goswami made grossly false, malicious, and defamatory statements during the coverage of actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death last year. I mean, 2 years back. So these defamatory statements were telecast on death on the channel Republic Bharat during a discussion about this case. The said defamatory attacks have been made with the singular view of assassinating Trimuke's official character and thereby maliciously and deliberately causing undue humiliation of the Mumbai Police Department. The complaint said at that point of time. So a lot of legal cases were filed against Arnab Goswami and the Republic Media. As you know, each and every employee had a case filed against him by the Mahavikas Agadi, and they were outright against in closing down Republic coverage, and especially closing down the company. If you remember, since Republic was going very strong against Bollywood, and especially with regards to the SSR case, and in fact, Arnab Goswami had asked very difficult questions to people like Pitani. If you remember that he was talking on the phone, and he also Arnab Goswami also went very strong in this regard. Meanwhile, with regards to Times Now and Navika, also, in fact, Times Now also went quite hard on following up with the SSR case. But after, I believe, a lot of request or pressure from either Bollywood or the Mahavikas Agadi, they stopped completely reporting and following up on the SSR case, and also against Bollywood, for that matter, anything negative against Bollywood. I still remember that Navika publicly apologized on primetime show that to Salman Khan for some sort of issue, if I remember. And so you can imagine the kind of pressure that would have been felt in these two mainstream media houses when they covered especially the SSR case.
Yeah.
Now
In fact,
coming, yeah,
yeah. In fact, see, the thing is that in the case of Times Now, it was open. It was on. It was live when the attorney Satish Manishinde gave a call to Navika, and suddenly Navika looked very frightened, you know, and it was after that they made a complete U-turn and stopped reporting about Sushant Singh Rajput. Now, in the case of Rajdeep Sardesai, as you were saying, yeah, you can continue on that, and then I'll give you my comments as well.
yeah, Rajdeep Sardesai has always been, hardcore left winger from the start. He always supported anything against, right wingers, like especially since he always reported, all the negative aspects of Modi ji when he was the chief minister, and he also, even now when sort of Shinde won in Maharashtra with a huge majority, you should have had a look at his face. He was so disappointed with Shinde coming to power, and MVA going out of power. But going back to the SSR case, at that point of time, he was the only publisher or the mainstream media channel which sort of had an interview with Riya Chakravarti at that point of time, and it was a fully scripted interview in which it felt like she was given the question and answers even before the interview, and it looked like a rehearsed, scene from a film. So, and the kind of sympathy that Rajdeep Sardesai had for Riya Chakravarti, and saying that she had been subjected to a media trial at that point of time, it was completely, obvious that Rajdeep Sardesai was, listening to the cabal's, instructions, and especially with regards to Satish Manshinde, who was Riya's lawyer.
Yeah, in
And
fact, yeah, in fact, Rajdeep Sardesai's face, you could make out that he himself was shocked because he didn't have any questions. Well, the questions that were given to him were by Satish Manishinde. And you had Ria, acting like a very coy, shy person, who was so besotted with Sushant, and how pained she was by his death. So everything was so scripted that for a seasoned person like even Sardesai, he could not believe that people sell such stories for such high prices. And also the fact that Arnab, because as you said, because of perhaps some certain rules, he stopped completely on Sushant Singh Rajput. But I think in between he did say a few things. In Arnab's case, you can clearly make out that business comes first, because see, most of the advertisers would say if you talk about these people, you'll not get any ads. Now, why I say this is because in one case, I have a grouse against Arnab, and that is ever since AAP started advertising with Republic, they stopped criticizing Arvind Kejriwal. and his gang of, useless ministers. So he was only praising them, or he would feature them, but he would never say even one derogatory word about AAP. So that meant, see, so then again you become a biased channel when you're paid money and you don't talk about the deficiencies of a certain party. That means you're bought. So, however however much integrity you have, in this aspect, you're very similar to Navika and to Rajdeep Sardesai. So, which are talking about India Today, Times Now, and Aaj Tak, and all that time, CNN, IBN as well. So it's a fact that these people give more importance to money and TRP than a simple soul like Sushant Singh Rajput. So when you complete this journey, I
So
would just like
sorry,
to
just
speak
a
to the
follow.
viewers. Yeah, to speak to the viewers about another interesting character called Rohini Iyer. So the moment you finish, I'll carry on with that. Yes.
Yeah, Shireen says that, but the ARP adverts have stopped and Arnab is lashing out at
Okay.
them again.
Okay. Then I have not seen that. Well and
Yeah, so
good.
that's an interesting development.
Thank you, Shareen. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in fact, I would like to add to one more point is that there's one, just one second. Anuj, reporter of Republic TV, was just asking who the owner of Karjat farm was, and he was arrested.
Yeah.
Yes, so there's a lot of mystery with regards to what's happening in Karjat farm. So, is there something which,
Yeah, here, Jaydev. See, I just like to make a small point. See, it's not that I believe in a channel like Ulti Khopri, but Ulti Khopri has a lot of information of inner circles in Bollywood, and he ran about, I think, two volumes of or two sessions of detailed report on Karjat farmhouse. And he said, now this is his version, so please don't think it's my version, it's his version. His version was that children were trapped or caught and kept in these farmhouses. And this is for organ trade and sexual, of course. So, sexual favors also. So, he has spoken in detail about this in two videos. So, in case you would like to see it, of course, it's there on YouTube. How much of it is true we do not know because we have not researched it. But the fear in the eyes of the Shiv Sena when they found out that Republic, the reporter was there, shows that there is certainly some hanky panky going on in the Karchat farmhouse. So yes, back to you, Jerry.
yeah. So let's take a few more comments. Yeah. Will the new Maharashtra government do any speed up by supporting CBI on SSR case? Seriously hope so, Niranjan. Otherwise, we should keep on pressurizing as the public to, for the government to take action. However, Arnab Goswami has been mentioning Palgar Sadhu's case and SSR case in Republic Bharat. Hope he will take these cases up again. Yes, Meera. Now is the perfect time for Arnab to follow up on these cases because they are no longer in power. I read a long post last week. Ek achhi
Crocodile's
khabar.
post.
Yeah, pray. A lot of her followers asked what it was, but no word. And few days later, Pitani gets bail. That's a very interesting, connection which you made.
Yeah, yeah. Gloria says Ulti Khopri is too good, Meenaji. Yes. Uh, Preeti says, if after this MBA gone, if Arnab not going to take SSR in Disha case, then we know his true face. Let ASI declare the prehistoric relics are supposed to be there at the Karjat farm and let them dig it out. At least then they will dig the place, hopefully. Ma'am, if you search Arnab Goswami criticizing BJP, you can find many videos him criticizing Yogi Ji, old videos. Can't believe him. See here also, Akshay, to tell you the truth, 2 points in where he went wrong and where he suffered was the Shabrimala issue, where he spoke on behalf of those women who were desperately trying to get into the temple, the what you call the Me Too type of women. And the second was when he criticized Swami Nityananda, without even one iota of proof in his hand. And so that was an anti-Hindu stand that he took. So these two stands did make an effect, have an effect on him. But again, see, Arnab's character is, if you see, you look at his character, there's a lot of qualities in it, and that's how he's come out of it without any wounds. So meanwhile, Jyoti, I'd like to speak to the viewers about another character that we've never spoken of. So, and that is, we are talking about Rohini Iyer. So you see this picture of hers with Sushant Singh, and just look at the kind of proximity, these people have. Okay. Now, see, if you'll remember, I don't know how many of you have been very alert at that time. Rohini Iyer and Raindrop Media. She's the owner of Raindrop Media. The connection with Chief Minister of Maharashtra was direct. Remember, when they were doing the best CM drive, PR, and all the actors were supposed to say that he was the best chief minister. Now, this particular lady is a very strange person. She was, like we said, she was the mastermind behind the best CM PR. Now, she called Sushant Singh Rajput her best friend. And she made a series, at that time, she made a series of social media posts urging people to not use his death for their lobbying and personal benefits. In a series, she wrote, "This has to be said, my best friend is no more. I still have a bloody hard time accepting that. And whenever I check social media to check up on news about him, I read fiction, and instead of finding people online, I see peddlers. Peddlers pushing their agendas to promote themselves and their causes. Every single person who wants their two-bit fame has an opinion on his life." In the note reshared by many celebs, she said, firstly, he didn't give a F dash dash about fame or your opinions. He didn't care about these people who are busy posting about not being in touch with him. For the record, he didn't care about being in touch. He hated fake friends, phone calls, and small talk. He rejected your parties, you didn't shun him. He rejected your lobbies. She further wrote, he didn't need caps. He had his own kingdom. He was a fighter. He made his own place in the sun. He was an outsider, and he never cared about being an insider. That's because he had a life beyond films. The industry was a small part of his life. He had many words beyond that. He didn't give a SH dash dash about success. He never failed. He has given more super hits than any of his other contemporaries. He just didn't care about the 100 crore club. He didn't want to belong to any club or be a part of rat race. He didn't care about awards. He walked out of an award function just because he got bored. This was even before they announced his Best Actor award. You had to be a lot more interesting than a bloody trophy to hold his attention. Talking about his interests, as varied as quantum physics and astronomy, she wrote, he was a force of nature, his accomplishments were multifold. He was simple as quantum physics, he was a crazy genius. He read Sartre and Nietzsche. He studied astronomy and stoicism. He wrote poetry, played the guitar, wrote with his left and right hand. He cared about saving the planet, the world, about going to Mars. He invested in charities, in science projects and innovations that were beyond your comprehension. So please don't try to make sense of him or reduce his talent to serve your mere agenda. She asked people to celebrate his work. He put his heart and soul into his craft. He was bothered more about research than makeup. He was about quality, not vanity. He was a bright star. That's why he shined sheer magic. Celebrate his brilliance. He thrived for excellence. Mediocrity affected him. He rejected anything conventional as easily as he rejected Godfathers and big ticket films that he didn't believe in. He didn't take calls of the high and mighty if he didn't want to. Now, here, friends, I'd like to say very clearly this woman, her language is not nearly perfect when she comes to describe Sushant, because that's how he was. But how true, is she when she says these words is highly, doubtful, because this is the same woman who is a part of the cabal. Now, she was seen last at Mauni Roy's wedding, dancing with Mauni and the whole gang. Now, whoever the invitees were for that wedding are the same invitees who are called at every actor and actress's wedding. She is a very clever woman. She is the one who, sort of upset Sushant. You remember when he did the film Kedarnath, and they said that it would be all about him. But when the PR material came out and the article started coming out, the focus was totally on Sara Ali. And that's when Sushant got very upset with this lady and he decided to disconnect with her. And you see, just see how after the death, the way she is talking so much about him, he never had. Yes, the photos that you see are all party pictures. It's the same way as Crocodile poses with him in so many pictures, or Nilotpan for that matter. He didn't even know of the existence for sure. People that you meet in public as a celebrity. That's how you would explain it. Now, this woman is so devious. She wanted to make Uddhav Thackeray the best CM. When everybody knew what kind of a man he is and what kind of a son he has, and how involved his son was in whatever had transpired in the SSR case. Now, by praising him, or making all her actors and actresses through the PR exercise say that he's the best chief minister, doesn't make him actually a good chief minister. Because you remember when Devendra Fadnavis, spoke about Eknath Shinde, during the floor test, that's when you realized there is another leader who works for the people. And everything that Devendra Fadnavis said about Eknath Shinde proved that he's a man from the grassroots. He works for people. He wouldn't. In fact, he also said on the birthday of Uddhav, he asked him to, attend to some people who were, in the midst of a flood, and he went by boat, and he helped and rescued them. So, Rohini, by saying that, see, he's the best chief minister, even now you're making people say it, it doesn't work. And all this PR that you do for Bollywood has all failed because boycott Bollywood is on. So I don't know how many of you really know this woman. It would be interesting for you to read more about her. Yeah, back to you, Jim.
Yeah, so let's take a few of the comments.
Yeah.
Rohini Iyer was the one who introduced Ria to SSR.
Yeah.
Yes, so your observations are on the dot about Rohini, a master PR with her own agenda. Yes, Maya. So many people try to derail the murder of SSR. Ankita, Sandeep, Mahesh, Ganesh. Yes, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
My heart is pouring still. How much time? Yeah, we are all waiting for SSR and Disha to get justice as soon as possible.
But Rekha, see, for sure there will be some sort of a, response to the case because they can't keep silent for long. Rohini was closely linked with Crocodile and London Lady, but nowhere to be tracked. Only Bollywood thinks UT is best CM. He was CM only for them. Bhavna, Me Too allegation on SSR. She was involved. Okay, so that's another point. Bhavna says they had also dragged SSR into the Me Too movement, especially when you know that SSR was a gentleman and he treated women with so much of respect. When A. Raja of the 2G scam moves freely and keeps making stupid statements, the chances of other perpetrators being arrested is not going to be a reality soon. Hence, have patience. She looks like a druggie and maybe linked SSR to all wrong women or all drowned his project. As they say, Ria was introduced to him by this woman. And we all know who Ria is. So we all know exactly what was her role in it as well. Yes, she's manipulative. Great title, you guys rock. You have an amazing show. I'm so grateful for you. We love you in the USA. Sherry, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sherry.
Yes. Yes, read about her emotional post, and it appeared to be sincere, but suddenly she stopped writing about him. Very curious. In fact, Maya, if you look at the wedding, videos of the Mauni Roy, you will find this woman dancing away. And what was that marriage all about? You can find out more about it. We've spoken about it in our earlier sessions. Now that the CM has changed, will Disha's parents also change their statement? I doubt, Vidya, because they would have already accepted the money, or they would be, still under, surveillance by these people. There is a Marathi media who's trying to float the idea that Shinde had a secret meeting with Pawar, but Shinde posted on his Twitter, no such meeting happened. Did it?
Yeah, justice hoga, but I guess little late. Yes, Savitri. Ria Rohini and others are the Vishkanyas. Then who's the Chanakya here? So a lot of speculations on who the Chanakya is behind the downfall of SSR. ES needs to expose a lot of murders and people Bollywood ready would be scared of him being the CM.
Yeah.
Yes, in fact, I hardly think anyone from Bollywood congratulated Eknath Shinde for that matter. Madam, did you see the interview where SSR himself said Fox is doing the investigation, and he said he is also doing the investigation on Me Too allegations. Who is behind this? Yeah, Joshi. Obviously, the Bollywood cabal is behind this because they didn't like an outsider, who was against their ideals, and they wanted to somehow get rid of him at any cost, and that's what
Yeah.
happened. Yes, Savitri. You should have
We
seen
move
his
on.
face when Eknath Shinde won the majority, Savitri.
Yeah.
He was, he looked like he was about to cry. Yes.
Yeah. Moving on to the next story.
So Rajkumar Rao opens up on nepotism in Bollywood, and he is an outsider. He has no sort of relatives or sort of family relations in Bollywood. So he spoke to the media and he said that nepotism will always be there in the industry, but there are many opportunities. I have friends who are my classmates but are getting recognition now thanks to the OTT platforms. And the topic of nepotism became a debate after Rao's judgmental Hai Kya co-star Kangana Ranaut mocked Kejo as a flag bearer of nepotism in Coffee with Karan. Since then, there has been a constant debate over the topic. After commenting on nepotism, Rajkumar also added there is no fixed formula for making a hit film. So now Rajkumar Rao is also saying, he admits that there is nepotism in Bollywood, and but he says there are a lot of opportunities. But my question is, opportunities for whom exactly? Is it still for the nepotistic kids only, right? And anyone who comes from the outside, they have to listen blindly to the cabal's rules, and then they will get all the films for themselves.
Yeah. So Joshi says Rajkumar Rao is selfish actor. Didn't say one word about SSR, which is what Karthik also says. Rajkumar Rao is one of the biggest hypocrites of all. He worked with SSR in KPC. Has he said even one word about SSR? So that's something that people are angry about. Yeah, yeah. You can read the other comments as well.
Yeah, yeah. So Shireen says even SSR's co-star in KPC, Amit Sat kept silent. Yes, Shireen. Everyone has to keep silent, even if they support SSR. They'll be out of business, right? They won't have any films. They'll be completely shunned, and God knows what will happen to them. Rajkumar Rao has become the poster child for plastic surgery. His chin has grown so sharp he could cut vegetables with his chin. That's very funny, maybe.
Hilarious, yeah.
Yeah, Bollywood is intertwined with IPL, gambling, drugs, and other rackets and the mafia. Will this change with ES as CM? Yes, we are hopeful, Vidya, because right now it looks very much like Eknath Shinde is a very staunch follower of Balsab Thackeray, who believed in Hindu ideals, and it looks like you know this will be soon. I mean, Shinde will hopefully bring the desired changes in Maharashtra. So can we trust Shinde? Why is Ria given clean sheet? Pitani out, come all other same. Yeah. So do you have any comment on this?
Yeah, see here, let us, he's just started it. So,
Yeah.
Shahnaz, let's just give him some time and then let's see.
Rao has had rhinoplasty.
Rhinoplasty.
Yes.
Nose also.
The Sadhus, Mansukh, Samir Sharma, Asif Basra, Sandeep Nahar, and all the 40, 50 innocent young kids murdered. In fact, it'll be more than that, Tom and Jerry, because there's not much accounted, deaths in Bollywood unofficially, right?
Yeah.
Why did Himani says why did Ria and all call Sushant bipolar? Her interrogation was a very diluted affair. When will she be exposed? Mukesh Khanna seems to support her diplomatically. Yes,
That seems rather strange. It seems rather strange why Mukesh supports her.
right. Yeah, Savitri says too soon to judge Shinde. Give him time. Yes, this is what I believe. We should give him time and let's see how it turns out. R.K. Rao has also acted with him in Kaipoche. He's in the good books of Mahesh Bhatt. Yes, Devi. I remember Amit Saad came on Kapil Sharma show, and in one of the promos of the show, he dropped a word on nepotism. But when the actual episode was aired, the scene was edited. Yes, so as you know, that Kapil Sharma show is produced by none other than Salman Khan. So it'll naturally be edited out. So yes, Tom and Jerry, why are those families fighting for justice? Because they might have been threatened, right? Like from the cabal. We all want justice as new CM will take notice. Har Har Mahadev. Yes, Seema, we all pray for that. And 32 deaths along with SSR. Yes, Caroline.
Yeah.
Rajkumar, he is not dead to Bollywood unlike SSR. SSR has talent and good looks and hardworking, whereas he's just a selfish actor. Yes, Joshi, and especially with now even Karthik Aryan claiming that he's a struggling outsider, and so I mean they all follow the rules of the cabal, and that's how they survive mainly in the industry. So coming to the next piece of news is with regards to Kangana Ranaut, and she has spoken with regards to Nupur Sharma's comment on Prophet. And Kangana has mocked the minority community's protest over the suspended BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma's hurtful comments on the Prophet. And the Queen actress shared her views. And the Kangana took a snap of the film of Amir Khan's film PK, and who harasses a stage actor who plays the role of Lord Shiva in that film. And this sequence was, as you know, criticized by many people, and they didn't like the sequence as it hurts the religious sentiments. However, Kangana shared the image and boasted that Hindus didn't go overboard over the sequence, and now people are creating a ruckus just because Nupur quoted from Hadith. So Kangana said, "This is one of the reasons why I love being a Hindu. Even something as obnoxious as this doesn't bother my Shivam. It doesn't even disturb my spirituality or faith either. Just because of women out of rage quoted Hadith, तो पूरा देश को सर पे उठा लिया है. What kind of people do this? Such alarming behavior. So it seems that Kangana is here, not there, right? As she's always been on the fence in all the issues, right?
Yes, yes. All the issues. Yeah.
So yeah, let's take a few comments. Karthik is a joker of Bollywood. Did you ever see his laugh? After seeing that, I get yes. How can they fight when most Mumbai was made a circus and people were silenced to watch in mute mode? Yes, true Indian. So, in all likelihood, media will not support ES as he supports Hindutva. So, which media are you talking about? Are you talking about the Lutyens media, Vidya? Absolutely, you're correct. But I think, at least in my opinion, Republic TV will still support Eknath Shinde. Himani says, so like I said yesterday, it's a sisterhood of sorts. Anupama Chopra and Kejo form the sisterhood of nepotism. You really can't call Karan a man, can you? So runs the engine of starry kids. Yes, many people call him Kejo auntie, right? So justice has to be done no matter what. Yes, Jasmine. So coming to the next piece of news is with regards to Kangana's film is Dhakkad, which flopped miserably in the box office, and apparently the producer of the film reacts to reports about selling his office to pay the dues after the film flopped. And after having incurred a huge loss, it was reported that the film's producer Deepak Mukut had to let go of his office to pay loans and dues. Now the producer has responded to the media reports. Deepak also shed light on why the film didn't do well in the box office and talked about reports that suggested that makers had a tough time getting an OTT release due to the film's dismal performance at the box office. So this is quite interesting that I mean he had to sell his office to recover his loss, and apparently no OTT platforms are interested in purchasing the rights of this particular film, Duckard. Yeah,
Shana
so
says, I wish
yeah,
SSR Disha Ghost would follow these Bollywood a-holes and scare them to death.
yes. Kangana is just like Dobi ka kutta na gar ka na gad ka. Neither the cabal wants her, no. Yes, she
We
was
want to
always on
see.
the fence. Thanks, Rika. Patan movie sold OTT huge amount. Is it?
Even before
Like,
it hit the theaters.
how is that possible?
Yeah.
Madam, why no errors are happening in SSR case? We are not saying murder at least.
CBI
Yes,
has to act first.
CBI has to act. Kangana is desperate for attention since Duckard failed
That,
miserably.
yeah,
Yeah, so she's somehow trying to, pass comments on the top controversial issues in the country, and in that way, she is trying to, stay in the limelight. That's the only way for her to stay in the limelight because Lockup didn't do well. Also, the season one of Lockup. Seems Kejo won't be hosting the OTT Big Boss, so who will it be? What happened to AU Post G? Is he still there as a minister? Apparently, he removed the word minister from his Twitter handle, right?
yeah.
So Kangana must be thinking of some strange scheme to be back in the news. Absolutely, Maya. And this is one way of remaining in the news is by talking on controversial issues. Yeah. So now coming to the final piece of news is with regards to the CM of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde. And in an interesting, shocking piece of news, is a vehicle in Eknath Shinde's convoy met with an accident. And however, CM Eknath Shinde's vehicle was, however, not involved in the accident, and he is very much safe. Now, my question is, I mean, there is still a lot of security risk for not only Eknath Shinde but all his
Yeah,
MLAs who voted against the
yeah,
Mahavikas Agadi. So there should be always, at least Z-class security provided to all to Eknath Shinde himself and all his the newly elected government, members,
yeah,
because this is
absolutely.
quite shocking that an accident happened in his convoy.
Mm.
Yeah. So, for those of you who do not know the history of Eknath Shinde, And the Shinde family belongs to Satara district and moved to Thane in the 70s when Shinde was just a child. Shinde worked in a brewery and drove an auto rickshaw to make ends meet before rising up in Shiv Sena ranks. Shinde, while working odd jobs, was influenced by Balsai Thackeray and Sena's Thane district chief Anand Dige and joined the party in the 1980s. Shinde became close to the then Thane district Sena president Anand Dige, who ran the local unit with an iron fist and was instrumental in making Shiv Sena a dominant force in the area. As Shinde modeled his appearance too before his mentor, Dige, and rewarded his loyalty with helping him win a seat in the Thane Municipal Corporation in 1997. He has a loyalty many party MLAs for being accessible, especially when an appointment at Montoshri can be tough and being generous with economic largesse. He has been responsible for organizing Sena's major political events. His son Shrikant is Sena's member of parliament, and like his mentor Dige, Shinde is a man of few words, not known for oratorial flourishes. What has is an agitational and belligerent style of functioning. Until now, deep loyalty to the Sena, all qualities that have helped him rise in the party. Now, interestingly enough, so you can see that Eknath Shinde is a grassroots leader. You know, he came from humble beginnings because he was an auto rickshaw driver. You know, he worked in the brewery, and through his skill and hard work, he came and rose in the ranks of the Shiv Sena party. And until now, you know, when finally he knew that Uddhav Thackeray was not, following the ideals of the Shiv Sena, legend, which is Balsab Thackeray. And so that's when he decided to do this coup, and now we have this party with the BJP and the Shinde's Sena, I would say, at in power in the Maharashtra government. Yeah, so ES and BJP party need to be very careful who they include as there might be modes planted. Yes, Tom and Jerry.
Yes.
Will Amrita Fadnavis reignite her career in Bollywood or reform Bollywood? This is
See, I was, yeah, see, so that's why I was not surprised. You know, when Fadnavis went to Nagpur on a rally, and she was plonked right on top of the truck or the lorry that he was on, waving to everybody and smiling. But I don't even think people recognized her.
Eknath Shinde has been a crowd mobilizer for all the SS huge rallies in Mumbai. Also controls all the musclemen. Yes, Meera.
In fact, Jaydev, there was a very good video, a short video of where Eknath Shinde's wife beats the drum. Do you have that with you?
No, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, there's a very it's going viral, friends, where Eknath Shinde's wife, is beating on the drum with the others to receive Eknath Shinde, and she does it with a flourish. It was quite nice to see. So, in case you see that in Twitter.
Yes, he seems a simple man of honest emotions with no frills, unlike Uddhav Thackeray. Hope he cleanses Mumbai soon. Yes, true Indian. Please let us know. Aishwarya says if the murderers face arrest,
Yes, we will. Yeah.
it's just a matter of time. Hopefully that the CBI will give an update to the SSR case. Meera says yes, that was sight to behold, pure joy. It was, yes, Seema. So Joshi says, Kangana, when SSR was alive, she casted Nautankitya to get all the attention of Ankita after she jumped this side. Yes, she's an opportunist and she knows where, to butter whom and get into the limelight by hook or crook.
Yeah. I think with that, we'll end this show. See you tomorrow, guys. Good night from Jaydev and me. Thank you for joining us always.
And yeah, and one more thing, make sure to hit the like button, share, and subscribe with your friends. Thank you,
Thank
friends.
you. Good night.